Welcome back inside Platte Arena for the championship game of the Huntington University Tournament. Your Lady Foresters have made it, and they take on Rochester College and the Warriors. Hello, I'm Eric Mann alongside Caleb Overfelt. And Caleb, this game actually started decently on time today. No triple OT games before ours this afternoon.
Right, Huntington is starting actually when they're supposed to, and they're very focused and ready to get this game underway.
Yesterday they had a bit of a tough game against Wilberforce, but came out with a great team win over Wilberforce College, 63-52 in that game. And also previously, prior to our game today, Judson defeated Wilberforce in the consolation matchup 82-75, both teams fighting hard toward the end. And in the end, it was the Lady Eagles coming out with the victory and third place in the HU tournament. As for the Foresters, Caleb, yesterday was a very evenly productive offense for the Lady Foresters. Amelia Recker led the way with 17 points and 11 rebounds for a double-double. And then you had Paige Speed with 16 and Kelsey Hubble and Courtney Baker contributing 10.
Right. It's always good to see a well-rounded effort, and it's exactly what these Foresters are looking for. They have very capable individual players, especially when you look at Amelia Recker and Paige Speed. But the truth is all these Foresters can play a really good game, and they did that tonight. Really did a great job of sharing the ball and having a great game.
Now the Lady Foresters, they did not commit too many turnovers, only 13 for the entire game to go along with 15 assists as a team. So they can really distribute the ball once they get their offense clicking. And they're going to have to limit the turnovers against this Rochester team.
Right. You always want to look at your assist-to-turnover ratio. You want to be able to get the ball to your teammates without giving the ball up. And that's something that these Lady Foresters do really well, and especially they did well in that last game yesterday. And
especially, Caleb, since they forced 25 turnovers against the Lady Bulldogs of Wilberforce, and Wilberforce only had 5 assists all game.
Right, and this would be a great time to note, Courtney Baker with 4 steals, and Paige Speed had 3 of her own, with a couple other players having 1 or 2 apiece. So they're doing a really good job playing really intense defense and really disrupting their opponent's offense, especially last night.
Now, Caleb, the Foresters didn't have that good of a first half shooting the ball, only 35% against Wilberforce, but they really came out and started to find their rhythm, going 15 of 31 in the second half, good enough for 48%.
Field goal percentage has been a bit of an issue for the Lady Foresters this season. They're shooting 39% on the season, and only 23% from three-point land. So that's definitely something they're going to want to work on. Try to get some better shots set up and try to get them to fall in.
The Lady Foresters only took 5 three-pointers all night, only 1 in the second half, Caleb. They didn't make any of them, but I think that's kind of their identity. They want to have a presence inside down there on the low blocks in the mid-range.
They do. They've got a very good presence in the point, especially with Amelia Recker. She does a great job using the glass, and I think we'll see another big game from her here tonight.
Amelia Recker, a sophomore sensation. She's been averaging just over 14 points a contest, and her free throw percentage really isn't all that bad for her position, just under 71%.
And if we're looking at free throws percentage, I really would like to point out Paige Speed's astounding 31 for 33 on the season. That brings her to almost 94%. Whenever you have your solid players that can hit free throws like that, it really puts a lot of extra points on the board.
And that was really important in the last night's game, Caleb. The Foresters going 9 of 9 from the charity stripe, 8 for 8 in the second half. So they were able to, again, they established that presence inside, and they were able to draw a few contacts and get some opportunities at the line.
Right. If you think about how significant 9 points is, that's really can be a huge difference maker.
And especially since they only won by 11. If they didn't have any of those free throws, we would be talking about a very, very close game.
Right. They do it very well, and they're going to have to do it well again tonight, but we know we can expect it from some of our top players here tonight.
Courtney Baker made her first start last night, Caleb. A very, very solid effort. Again, we mentioned 10 points, and then you said the 4 steals. They're contributing defensively. She can get after the basketball.
Right. She played a very aggressive game, and that's really what we like to see out of players making their first start. They want to make an impression. They'd like to be able to start again, and I think Courtney Baker did a great job of that last night.
Courtney Baker, a junior and a 3-sport athlete. Boy, just came off of her soccer season. She's really just stepped in and provided great minutes right away.
That's kind of a trend of our student athletes here at Huntington University. We've got a lot of players on both the men and women's teams that play a lot of different sports, so it's always nice to see really well-rounded student athletes.
Now this Rochester team, they came off of a triple overtime win yesterday against Judson. very back and forth kind of game. But in the end, it seemed like they were able to keep their energy up in that third overtime and pulled away with an 84-76 win.
Right, and really, Rochester seemed to dominate all of the overtimes, but Judson just they wouldn't go away. They kept coming back, and every time Rochester would make a shot, Judson would bring it back. But eventually, in that third overtime, Rochester was finally able to pull away and get the win.
Now, Rochester, Caleb, from what it looks like out here during shoot-around, they may not have the size to match up with the Foresters. Who do you think is going to have to really be that key contributor there for the Warriors?
Well, Kaila Kaikala is definitely the player on Rochester's team who really stands out. She's the top scorer on the team, averaging 15.4 a game. She has 12 steals and 5 blocks on the season, and she's also the rebounding leader for this team, averaging just over 9 rebounds per game. So she's obviously a very well-rounded player. And even though she's not the biggest one on the court, she kind of plays like a bigger player, especially in the blocks and rebound department.
And she's also... Oh, go ahead there, Caleb.
We'll definitely have to be watching her tonight, and there'll be some good matchups between some of our bigger Forester players with her.
She's also gotten to the free throw line the most out of any player on the Warriors team. 48 attempts on the free throw line, and just about under 73%, which really is pretty good.
Right. She obviously plays a very aggressive game, so the Foresters are going to be sure not to foul her. Let's not give her opportunities at the line, and hopefully we'll be able to take care of that matchup.
Just about a minute and a half before we have the national anthem and prayer, so we'll take a break on Forester Sports Live on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM.
Huntington University welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to today's contest. As a member of the NAIA and the Crossroads League, we are committed to the true spirit of competition as champions of character, embracing 5 core values: respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. We ask each of you as a participant, official, or spectator to abide by these values, and more specifically ask that profanity not be used during the contest. Together we can create a positive, competitive environment in which our athletes may participate, our officials may work, and you, the spectator, may enjoy. A reminder that tobacco use is not permitted on the Huntington University campus. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to stand, bow your heads, remove your hats, and remain silent as I lead us in prayer before today's contest. Father God, we come before you in the strong name of Christ our Lord. We are grateful that we have an audience before you because of the work of Christ. Father, we ask that today's game will be, the players will be safe. We pray, Father, that the fans and all those who are working the game, the officials, the cheerleaders, we pray, Father, that we would honor you in the way we conduct ourselves, and that you would reveal to us your glory through this game. We pray these things in Christ's name. Amen. Please remain standing after prayer and honor America as Angelica Thompson sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the red
Thank you very much. Beautiful, beautiful voice. And now introducing the starting lineup. First of all, for the visitors from Michigan.
Back inside Platt Arena, the Lady Foresters and the Lady Warriors of Rochester College about to take on in the championship of the Huntington University Tournament. Let's now take a look at your starting lineups. Starting off with the Rochester College Warriors, we'll have Josie Wiltsey, number 10, at guard, along with Sam Charney, sophomore guard, along with Jasmine Russell, a senior guard. And then two forwards for the Warriors, Kayala Kayakala, the senior, at forward, number 23, and then Emily Hale rounds out the starting lineup for the Warriors. Caleb, what about our Foresters?
The starters for the Foresters, Courtney Baker will again get the start as a junior at guard position. Also at guard, Kelsey Hubble, the sophomore. Peja Speed will be starting guard. She is a senior. At forward, Amelia Recker as a sophomore. And finally, the big lady in the center, Jacqueline Bonema, as a sophomore.
And again, Caleb, Courtney Baker only making her second start of the year, but in that start yesterday against Wilberforce, she provided not only some offense, but the defense is what really impressed me.
Right, nobody doubts that she's a starting caliber player. We've got a lot of weapons on this Lady Foresters team, and she's definitely one of the best, and we look for her to have another good game today.
And again, Caleb, she only stands at a diminutive 5'5", but she is pretty built for that 5'5". She's a tough player to match up against.
Right, and she's got some quickness that we see especially on defense. She's hard to get around.
So the Lady Foresters now huddling, and both teams for that matter huddling, as Rochester and Huntington about to square off. You're in the championship game of the HU tournament. Players now making their way toward half court. It looks like we'll have Bonema going up against Kayakala there in the circle. Foresters will be moving from our right to left. The Warriors moving from our left to right. Ball is up. There's the tip, and it's to the Foresters. Peja Speed has it. Peja in the lane, has a loose ball down low, knocks it back out to Courtney Baker. Baker moving off to her right, hands it to Hubble. Hubble now transitioning in the lane, goes back to Speed. Speed kicks it back to Baker. Baker gonna go back to Hubble. 10 on the shot clock. And a reach-in foul on number 10, Wiltsey, the junior guard out of Rose City, Michigan. Now provide a fresh shot clock for the Lady Foresters here in the early seconds of this contest. Bonema gets the inbound right back to Baker, and she is charging hard. Here goes Speed in the lane, puts it up with the left hand, and it's good.
Textbook drive, and we really expect nothing less from Peja Speed. Great job getting into a position to get an easy bucket.
Peja, the left-hander, absorbing the contact rather, and was able to get a nice shot off there in the paint. Here comes Rochester the other way. Kayakala, loose ball on the floor, still loose, and it is out to number 33, Hale. Here's a three ball from the far side, no good. Baker, but the ball went out off the line as Baker was trying to break away. And they'll give it back to Rochester.
And that was good effort by Baker. She used her quickness to get inside, but just barely stepped on the line, and it looks like it's going to be Rochester ball.
Inbounding will be Wiltsey. She'll get it into Hale. And now back outside. Speed got her hands on it. And it will go back to the Warriors. Speed, the last one to touch it. She was guarding Charney there along the sideline. Quick inbound goes to Wiltsey. Guarded by Kelsey Hubble. She's on her pretty tight here. She backs it down and now goes to Kayakala, defended by Amelia Recker. Hale, right at the top of the key, goes back to Wiltsey. Wiltsey, bounce pass inside to Kayakala, triple team. Here's the pass to Hale, puts that one up off the glass, no good. Tipped around, and there's Hubble with the loose ball. Kelsey with the bounce pass to Speed. Going inside, trying to go to Recker, but over her head and out of bounds.
The Foresters look like they're trying to control the tempo of this game. They're playing really tight defense, trying to keep Rochester off balance, and we saw them really try to push the tempo on the offensive side of the ball as well.
18:37 and counting to go in the first half. 2-0 your score. Foresters with the early lead. Ball in the hands of Charney. Now back out to Kayakala to Wiltsey. Wiltsey on the wing. Goes back. Now to Charney. And Kayakala now with it in the near corner. Bounce pass to Hale. Back outside. Charney alone for a deep three. Too strong, but Kayakala the rebound. Kayakala in the lane now. And we've got a foul in the paint. See, they'll get that one That's going to go against Kelsey Hubble, number 3.
Rochester really seems to be struggling to get their offense going. They seem a little bit off balance, and they're really settling for some threes. That's really the only shots they've gotten off so far.
Inbound goes to 22 Russell, Jasmine Russell. Now it's back out to Wiltsey with a fresh 30. Wiltsey moving left and finds Charney. Charney, top of the key, circle, stolen away by Baker. 2-on-2 for the Lady Foresters. Baker gonna take it herself, misses the layup, tipped around, and Hubble has it. Back out to Baker, and they'll reset.
And Baker had 4 steals yesterday, and she's already got 1 this early in the game today.
Hubble working it right, finds Recker. Thought about the shot from the high post, instead goes to Speed. Speed gonna go in the lane, puts up the shot, and finds the hole.
It looked exactly like the first shot she put up in the game. She must really like that rhythm that she's found.
4-0, Huntington in front of Rochester. Now Wiltsey gonna drive the lane, a foul before the shot. And that'll go against Hubble again. That's her second in only a matter of minutes.
And Hubble really, she got beat by her man up there and really just kind of moved in with her body and got the quick foul.
Randall Palmer will now check in. Kelsey Hubble going to take a quick rest on the sidelines with those 2 quick fouls. And the Lady Foresters leading 4-0 right now over Rochester. Inbound to Wiltsey. Going inside. That one knocked away by Bonema, and Baker comes up with it. Good defense from Jacqueline Bonema on the other end. Baker clears it out underneath Recker all alone for 2.
Going back to that steal, Bonneman has got really long arms. She's able to use those to really reach around and disrupt that pass.
Lady Foresters off to a good start. 6-0 over Rochester. Another foul underneath, a hand check. Going to go against Baker.
And as we've seen, the Foresters are playing really aggressive defense. That works really well in some cases with the amount of steals we've been able to come up with, but it's also hurting us foul-wise.
Wiltsey will get it into Hale. Hale, the bounce pass stolen away by Palmer. Palmer going to go to Peja Speed, 1-on-1 to the hoop. Misses the lay-in. Ball still knocked around, and it is with Rochester and Kayakala.
Peja bobbled that pass a little bit and got caught up a little bit too much underneath the basket. I think had that not happened, she would have had an easy basket.
Russell alone for 3, hits it. Before that, the pass was going out, but it looked like Bonema may have been run over. No foul call there. Palmer, full court trap on, but she does get it across the timeline to Baker. Now Baker will slow things down a bit. Looking for some help. Bounces off to Palmer. Going back to Baker now. Inside, Recker broke away and draws the foul. Had a good look at the basket, but a good slide over from Kayakala. Foul will go against Emily Hale, number 33.
It was a really good dish by Baker to find Amelia Recker on the inside. And again, another kind of bobbled pass. Had that pass not been bobbled, Recker would have had an easy shot. But regardless, she draws the foul and she'll be shooting 2.
First one on the way for Recker. That one rattles home. And the Lady Foresters, Caleb, picking up where they left off last night. These last few games, they're now 10 for 10 from the free throw line. Recker with one more coming. That one's on the way, and that one is good.
She has a very interesting free throw routine, but
yes,
it seems to work really well. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
8-3 your score. Lady Foresters up by 5. Bounce pass. Kayakala just outside the free throw line. Hands it off to Russell. Russell back out to Hale. Hale bouncing it in the lane. It is Kayakala putting it up. No good. Ball knocked around. Recker has it. Good fighting there by Recker to come up with the rebound. Here goes Palmer up to Baker. Oh, she had a look at the basket, but backs it out. Now Palmer moving off left, goes back to Baker. Now Speed. Speed looking for some room, trying to drive, instead goes to Palmer. Miranda, nice bounce pass into Recker, misses the shot, and Kayakala the rebound. 15.5 minutes, here come the Warriors. Russell going to back it out to Wiltsey. Reset the play with 20 on the shot clock. Wiltsey trying to work against Baker, goes to Russell. Russell back to Wiltsey. Wiltsey picked up her dribble, knocked away, but Hale comes up with it. Here's the kick out to Kayakala. She'll take a 3, and that one is good.
Kayakala definitely seems to be a very versatile player. She can play inside, she gets good rebounds, but she's also got an outside shot, as we just saw.
Lady Foresters break the full court press, and Peja Speed assists. Recker on the end with a layup. 10-6 now. Lady Foresters up 4. Wiltsey going to drive the lane, draws another foul, and I believe that one's on Baker again. That's her second. Looks like Allison Trout may check in now. So we hit the media timeout with 14:50. 10-6 your score. Lady Foresters in front. And Caleb, both teams seemingly going back and forth in these last few possessions. Lady Foresters, though, seeming content to go ahead and drive inside.
Right, and they're doing a good job trying to control the pace of the game, as I mentioned earlier. They're trying to get some fast break points off. And we've seen Rochester switch into a full court press, trying to slow that down a little bit. But so far, Huntington's done a good job being able to run a good fast break game and find the open person and get the ball in the basket.
If there is one thing, Caleb, that the Lady Foresters aren't doing well, I'd say they're drawing a lot of double teams defensively. They're drawing to one person, and that leaves a wide open Warrior for an open shot.
Right, and Rochester's had varying success so far trying to break that and finding the open person whenever the double team is present on the Forester defense. So that's something they'll have to watch, make sure that there's a lot of help defense going on, and if there's that open person, we got to make sure that the Foresters get somebody on there before they get the open look.
The Lady Foresters working with 4 team fouls, 2 of them against Courtney Baker and 2 against Kelsey Hubble. So that's got to be a concern if you're the Lady Foresters and head coach Lori Culler.
Right, 14 fouls this early is not good. You don't want to see your team slip into the bonus early in the first half. Another thing is we don't want a couple of our key players to get into foul trouble this early. Especially, we've been mentioning Courtney Baker lately. We'd really like to see her on the field the way she's been playing the last few games.
Lady Foresters break the huddle after the media timeout. And here come the Warriors back to the floor. It is Rochester ball. Underneath again after the foul by Courtney Baker. 14:50 to go first half. Wiltsey to inbound. Going inside, it looks like it's Hale. Hale guarded by Recker, pretty tough. Nice job forcing the tough shot. It's missed, and Recker is rewarded with a rebound. Palmer working against Russell. Back door to Trout for a 2. That one is no good, way too strong. Now the Warriors will try and work it in transition. Wiltsey guarded by Trout. Kicks it out. Charney for 3. A little too strong. And that will be a deep rebound by Recker.
And really, the Foresters have been doing an excellent job of boxing out on the defensive end. Really, they've had quite a few uncontested rebounds.
Palmer thought to drive the lane. Instead kicks it back out to Trout. Trout will move right. And it looks like we have an offensive foul on the low side of the... That goes against Bonema. May have been either an illegal screen or just a shove. Nonetheless, a turnover for the Lady Foresters. The 5th team foul already for HU. Wiltsey running the point. It's met by Trout at the top of the key. Kayakala goes to Hale. Hale looking for some help. Goes back to Wiltsey. A push before the shot. That goes against Trout. That's the 6th team foul and first against Allison.
Well, and Huntington's definitely going to have to start making some adjustments. They're playing really aggressively, which is good on the defensive end, but they're causing a lot of fouls. And unfortunately, Rochester's only 1 foul away from the bonus early in the first half.
Charney checks out, and then comes number 20, Tiffany Mish, freshman guard out of Clinton Township, Michigan, getting some playing time here. She had a good game yesterday against Judson. Russell working the ball. She'll drive the lane. That one, that looked like a clean block by Bonema, but they're going to get the foul.
And the crowd's not very happy about that one. They seem to think that Bonneman got all ball, but regardless, she's going to come up with a foul, and already the Foresters have forced the bonus, and Rochester's going to be able to shoot a lot of free throws for the rest of this half.
Amelia Eschman looking to check in. That's the first free throw, no good from Russell. Here comes Amelia onto the floor for Jacqueline. 2nd foul already against Bonema now. Russell with 1 more free throw to come. 2nd one on the way. That one is good. It's now only a 3-point lead, 10-7 for the Lady Foresters. Knocked away, and it looks like Kayakala called for the reaching foul and the push. Now provide the Lady Foresters with a fresh shot clock at 13:41 to play in the first half. Palmer works it across the timeline rather easily, and now it looks like Rochester in a 2-3 zone. Here's Speed working it to Trout. Trout back to Speed. Speed goes cross court to Palmer. Palmer to Trout. Palmer inside. Eschman. Double team to Palmer. 10 on the shot clock. Recker to Trout. Got 5 on the shot clock and a reaching foul. That one is going to go against Mish.
It was good ball movement, but really the Foresters couldn't find a good shot there, but they did a good job showing patience instead of trying to force something that wasn't there. They just keep looking for one.
Trout will inbound. Gets it in easy to Palmer. Again, Rochester staying in that 2-3 zone for this possession. Recker back out to Trout. Trout goes to Palmer. Working it over now to Speed on the far wing. Here it is with Recker. Back to Peja. Peja going to drive the baseline. And a foul as she was heading toward the basket.
Well, the Rochester, they haven't really fouled much up until this possession, but they've just gotten 2 quick ones right in a row. I'm sorry, make that 3 quick fouls right in a row.
Kayakawa with a foul. She'll now come out with 2 personals. As Olivia Delgado Price checks in. Senior center. Here's a quick inbound from Speed, but it did not work. Stripped away, though, by Eschman. Puts it up with the right hand, and it's good.
Excellent job by Eschman. That wasn't a very smart inbound. The ball was loose, and she was able to fight for it and get up and get the basket as well.
I think Peja was trying to bounce it off of a Warrior back, and didn't exactly work, but luckily Eschman was right there. Loose ball taken away by Palmer. Palmer working the fast break, lost it off of her own foot, and it goes out of bounds.
And she's definitely wishes she could have that one back, but at this point, the best thing to do is just snap back on defense and play your game.
Coach Keller telling Ryan she's all right. That was a good transition there for the Lady Foresters, willing to push it up and try and go right to the rack. 12-7, 12 and a half minutes to play. Other sub coming on, Erica Schwartz, number 1. Checks in for Rochester. Now she's running the point in place of Wiltsey. Bounce pass off to Hale. At the top of the key, going to Russell. Russell to Delgado Price. Bounce pass stolen by Recker now. Milia trying to push it. Goes to Palmer and again out of bounds.
Well, it's the second time in a row we've seen a great Forester defensive play, but just miscommunications or just small errors have cost the Foresters from being able to turn those turnovers into points.
Now it is Mish running the point. Bringing it up herself. She's defended by Speed. Mish, bounce pass back out to Russell. Russell now backs it down. Good switch by the Lady Foresters. Now Mish, bounce pass to Hale. Hale going cross court to Schwartz. Schwartz looking for an opening. Trying to go against Trout. Good defense. Under 5 on the shot clock. Taken away by Palmer. Palmer to Peja. Now to Eschman. Puts it up. No good. Tipped out to Mish. Now Rochester looking to push it, but they do not have numbers. Mish, though, will take a 3. That one rattles in.
Well, these missed opportunities on the fast break coming after steals are really starting to hurt the Lady Foresters. They really need to convert whenever they have a good defensive play.
Up to Trout. Now Recker. Recker. The Lady Foresters have an advantage. 3-on-2, no good. Ball knocked again. Speed has the rebound, and again, there should have been a foul. 3 ball from Trout, no good.
And the crowd really wanting a foul whenever, I believe it was Peja Speed who went up for it. There was a lot of body contact there, but no call.
Russell shot from the elbow, no good. Eschman the rebound, and here come the Lady Foresters. Timeout by the Lady Foresters. Timeout called by head coach Culler. 30-second timeout. We're only at a 2-point ball game now, Caleb. 12-10 with just under 11 minutes to go in the half. And the Lady Foresters have had opportunities, whether it be bad calls or just missed opportunities with turnovers. They've been able to allow Rochester to stay in this ball game.
And we talked about in the pregame, the Lady Foresters are unfortunately shooting a very low percentage on this season, and that kind of is seeming to continue today. So I'm not quite sure what they need to do. They're getting some decent looks, but they're just not able to find the basket. I'm hoping that'll be able to be adjusted here after this timeout. Coach is definitely wanting to slow them down a little bit, just have them not get so flustered after missing all those opportunities and just get back out there and do what they're supposed to do.
No changes from the Lady Foresters out of the timeout. You have a new Warrior on the floor. It is Nikki Heim, number 3 for Rochester. Here is Trout going quickly up to Recker. 2-on-2 for the Lady Foresters, but they back it out. and that one is going back over the back and out of bounds. Schrecker tried to hit Trout, but was a little too wide with the pass.
Right. I don't think Trout was ready for that ball to go that direction, and she wasn't able to catch up with it. Another big mistake by the Foresters, and they can't afford to be giving up this many turnovers or missed baskets.
Lady Warriors working with the ball. Schwartz, reverse screen, does not utilize it. Instead, goes in the lane, and that will be a charge. Asia Speed putting her body on the line there.
Speed did a good job getting her feet set and staying out of the restricted zone. That was a pretty easy call for the referees.
Inbound goes to Palmer, now to Trout. Trout works it up to Eschman. Eschman backs it out to Speed, and now Palmer. They'll set the play. Peja moving right, bounces it off to Trout. Trout uses the screen, goes to Palmer. She'll take a long two. That one off the iron, no good. Eschman the rebound, can't put it back in, and Hale gets the defensive board.
Well, another great opportunity there that was squandered. Amelia Eschman had a great rebound, but she just wasn't able to get the ball back in.
Schwartz, the handoff, going to Mish, back outside. Heim going to drive and kick. Schwartz for three, no good. Short off the iron, and that one is out of bounds as Heim tries to save it. Heim going out into the stands, right into the first row. Unfortunately, Caleb, it's not take a Warrior home with you tonight.
No, it is not.
Inbound to the Lady Foresters under 10 minutes to go. 12-10 your score still. Lady Foresters by 2. Here comes that zone from the Warriors. Speed bounces it off to Palmer. Palmer working her way around. A reach-in foul. Looks like that one will go against Heim, number 3.
The 2-3 zone of Rochester is really doing a good job disrupting the Forester offense. We mentioned at the beginning of the game that Foresters really don't have a heavy three-point presence, and really the perimeter is kind of the best way to bust the zone, in my opinion. And that's really the zone defense that Rochester's using is doing a good job of keeping the Foresters from getting their trademark points in the paint.
Palmer hits the front end on the 1-and-1. That was the 7th team foul against the Lady Warriors. Now both teams are in the bonus. Hubble will look to check in. The second free throw is good. Stephanie Osborne now on the field, or on the court rather. She came in for Eschman. And now Hubble returns to the court as Trout heads to the sidelines for some rest. Now 14-10, Lady Foresters still perfect from the free throw line. 3 for 3, I believe. Balls with Schwartz, defended by Palmer, going out to the wing, and Mish back to Schwartz. On about the three, tries to go inside, but well wide of Hale, and it's out of bounds.
The foul situation is very interesting in this game. We saw the Huntington University Foresters. They racked up 7 quickly, and Rochester only had 2. And then now, just 3 minutes later, Rochester has 7 fouls as well. So if Huntington can make opportunity to get to the line, it could be a big difference maker in this ball game.
Ball up to Palmer, now Hubble. Hubble stops, goes over to Palmer. Now in the corner. Speed for 3. Too strong. Hubble the nice offensive rebound, and the Lady Foresters reset. Hubble in the far corner this time. Going to Recker. Bounce pass to Peja. Speed going inside. Osborne loses it. Got it right back. It's tough underneath and taken away by Delgado Price. Mish on the other end. Nice footwork and finds the layup. Palmer looking to break the full court press, and they do. It's now with Speed after a pass from Kelsey Hubble. Palmer goes to the sophomore, and now it's with Recker. Back out Palmer, swinging it around the perimeter of the Lady Foresters. In the high post with Osborne to Speed. Speed trying to go inside. Back out. Palmer with 5 on the shot clock. Hubble to Speed. Puts it up with 1. Graces the front iron. Osborne the rebound. And a jump ball will go back to Rochester.
The last couple of possessions, Osborne's really been fighting some battles underneath the basket. That time there was a jump ball, so the possession arrow is going to go the way of Rochester, but she's really done a good job fighting for the basketball underneath.
Rochester with an opportunity to tie or take the lead, as it is with Hale top of the key. Back to Schwartz, and a travel. That was an odd call there, Caleb. I don't know if I really saw enough there for the travel, but nonetheless, another turnover for the Warriors.
If it was there,
as
it was
Wiltsey
very
checks
subtle.
in. Yeah. Speed with the easy inbound to Palmer. They'll now try and again break that full court pressure. They do get it across with Osborne. Right back to Palmer, and she'll run the offense. Going to Hubble. Screen from Osborne, and now it's with Speed. Back to Hubble. Looking to go inside. They go to Osborne. Osborne trying to work her way around. Can't get a foul call, and Hale gets the rebound.
And again, Osborne's triple team down in the paint. She's really having a hard time down there. Forsters really need to find their open person whenever there's a triple team like that.
Back out with Wiltsey. Looks to drive. Goes to Price. Here's Mish for three. That one is good. And Rochester's in front by one, 15-14.
And again, Rochester had a wide open shooter. The Forsters really struggling with their help defense today.
Foul here on the other end. Foul goes against Hale. 8th team foul, second against Hale. And another media timeout, 7:16 to play, 15-14. Caleb, again, the Lady Forsters, they're finding opportunities down low, but have not been able to get good looks at the basket.
Well, right now they're not doing a very good job getting their big players involved on the offensive end. We haven't really seen anything from Amelia Recker today, and her inside presence is normally what really can get the Forsters going when they're struggling. And Paige Speed was pretty active in the early parts of this game, but she hasn't really gotten any good looks. So the Forsters really need to be able to find their big players, the ones that they can count on in this kind of situation where they're really struggling on the offensive side of the ball.
Would you account some of that to that 2-3 zone there from Rochester?
I think the zone's really given Huntington a lot of problems. Again, they're having a really hard time getting the ball inside in the paint, and that's kind of the trademark problem area of the 2-3 zone.
7:16 to go in the first half. Again, a 1-point lead now for Rochester. I believe their first of the game, as the Lady Forsters will be working with the ball. Here on the other end, it will be Paige Speed with 1-and-1 free throws coming. Again, that's going to be a key concept of this game now, considering that both teams are in the 1-and-1.
Right, and again, we're going to look at the high free throw percentage of the season of this Lady Foresters team. And so far, throughout this entire Huntington University tournament, the Lady Foresters have not missed a free throw.
In Paige at the line, the lone senior on this Forester team from Portland, Indiana, not that far away from Huntington, Indiana. One dribble from Paige, that one up and good. Pretty simple there.
Right, I was just having a conversation with my friend yesterday about the interesting free throw routines that we have on this team, but the one dribble, hey, you know, if it works, then keep doing it, and obviously it's continuing to work as Paige Speed knocks down her second.
Puts the Lady Foresters back up by one, 16-15 as Wiltsey working it at the free throw line, drive and kick. Hale, a long two is good.
And again, we have a little bit of a delay with Amelia Recker on the help defense. They really need to be able to find that open person before Rochester does and make sure they're covered.
Palmer working right, goes to Speed. Bounce pass, now to Recker. Back out to Palmer, and now Hubble at the top of the key. Goes to Speed, cross court. Palmer, catch and shoot for three. It's good.
That's exactly what HU needs at this point. Get a nice outside shot. Make them respect you out on the perimeter, and that'll help set up the points in the paint.
A 2-point lead for the Lady Foresters, 19-17. Back outside with Heim. Heim back to Wiltsey in the corner, moves left. Switch by the Lady Foresters. Hubble now defending. And a foul. That'll go against Hubble. That is her third. Can't really understand that in Kelsey's eyes, as now Eschman and Trout check in. Heim comes out, and number 2, Carrie Burton, checks on for Rochester. It'll be 2 free throws. 2 free throws for Wiltsey. Kayakala checks back on as Hale heads to the bench. Actually, it will be the 1-and-1 as the foul occurred before the shot. First one on the way, an arcing shot is good. One more now for Rochester. If Wiltsey makes this one, we will be tied at 19. Second one is on the way. That one is good as well.
Both teams really shooting a high percentage from the stripe today.
Here's Palmer. No full court pressure this time from Rochester as they work it to Speed. Palmer back to Speed, bounce pass to Recker. Recker, cross court to Trout. Trout tries to go to Eschman, that ball knocked loose. Goes back the other way to the Warriors.
And really, HU just really seems off balance on the offensive side. They're bobbling passes, they're missing passes. They're just having a really hard time getting the ball to the scorers and getting an opportunity for a good shot.
Holtzy top of the key, works it over to Burton. Now back outside, Mish, and now back to Wiltsey. Wiltsey goes to Mish. She's open for three. That one too strong. Eschman the board.
Good boxing out by Eschman to get herself an easy rebound.
I want to make a quick note here. Eschman now playing with some black tape on her left hand. But she is out there playing. We assume she's all right. Eschman now with it in the post. Puts it up with the left hand. Too strong. Fighting for the board, though. It is Delgado Price. And the other way come the Warriors. Ball knocked up. Kayakala catches and shoots. That one no good. Eschman another rebound. Both teams now looking to try and push the tempo. That one knocked away and stolen. Was with Burton. Now it's back outside. Wiltsey slows things down for the Warriors, and now they'll work it to Kayakala, top of the key. Handing it off to Mish. Back outside. Delgado Price. Left alone for a while, and now goes to Mish. Delgado Price. Now Burton to Wiltsey. 6 on the shot clock. Wiltsey got to make something happen. Puts it up in the lane. No good. Offensive foul going the other way. Tied at 19. Second against Wiltsey. Trout checks off. And now number 21, Lacey Dietrich, getting her first action of this contest. Dietrich, a young freshman out of Dayton, Indiana, standing at 5'5". Palmer will go to Dietrich. Works it left, jumps and gives it off to Palmer. Palmer works it in the corner with Page's speed. Speed to Recker. Back out to Dietrich. Inside to Eschman. Back outside. Palmer. Hesitation. Step back going to Eschman. Speed. Puts it up with 1 on the shot clock. No good, and Burton the rebound.
And there was a point during that series where Eschman had the ball relatively unguarded under the basket, but she decided to kick it back out. I'm not sure if I agree with that one. She really needs to be aggressive and exert her leadership there on the court.
Kayakala working against Recker. Trying to work herself free. Instead goes to Burton, and now Wiltsey in the near wing. Wiltsey going baseline. Puts up the right-hand runner. It's good. Back quickly come the Lady Foresters. They work it with Palmer. Palmer going to go to Dietrich. Dietrich thought to go inside, but went well out of bounds. Another turnover for the Lady Foresters.
Again, another one, a miscommunication on a pass. You know, she thought Amelia Recker was going to stay inside, but Amelia cut up, and there was nobody there to receive that pass besides the referee.
A few new Warriors checking on as well. Number 4, Eliza Donald, coming in along with 12. Charney's back on, and Hale, too, checks back in. Charney with the ball, top of the key, works it off to Hale. Hale with a screen, moves it, puts it up in the lane, no good. Rebound, Delgado Price, she misses the layup, and Eschman gets the rebound. Quickly come the Lady Foresters. Ball inside, stolen by Delgado Price. Fans may have thought she was out of bounds. Nonetheless, Rochester still working with the ball. Donald stops at the free throw line, goes to Burton for 3. That one is good. Just over 3 minutes, 24-19 now. Lady Foresters trailing by 5.
If you're Huntington, that's exactly what you don't want to happen. You get another open look for a three-pointer that falls through.
Palmer working it off right. Trying to find speed and does. Now go to the Recker. Recker going to work in the lane. Back out to Speed. She'll drive. And now it's knocked out to Palmer. Palmer going to drive herself with the left hand. It's good.
That ends a really long scoring drought by the Foresters. Hopefully that'll kind of jumpstart their offense a little bit.
24-21 now. 3-point deficit for the Lady Foresters. Donald going in the corner to Hale. Hale moving to her right. Goes off to Charney. Charney going along the baseline. Knocked up and out of bounds by Palmer, but good defense getting in the way of the pass.
Well, it almost seems like Palmer says, I have enough of this. She just charged right into the lane with a layup, and then on the defensive side, she's getting hands in the passing lane.
Russell checks on for Burton for Rochester. Now Dietrich will defend Donald. Palmer on Russell. That one high off the glass, no good. Blocked by Amelia Eschman. Delgado Price had 2 looks at the basket, but could not convert on either of them. Dietrich left alone for three, short, got her own rebound, and draws the foul.
It was a good effort. She had the wide open shot, knew that it was short, probably shortly after it was released, chased it down and got another shot off, and now she'll be shooting the 2 shots, since it was on the shot.
Hale with her third personal, and that's a 10th team foul. So the Lady Foresters working in the double bonus for the last 2:04 of the half. Dietrich's first one goes in. Now number 35, Sydney Morgan, a freshman center, checking on for Hale. Lacey Dietrich with her second free throw attempt. This one on the way. That one is good.
A little bit of a fake out there. I'm surprised none of the players were able to jump into the lane.
30-second timeout taken by the Lady Foresters. They now only trail by 1 and have gone on a 4-0 run after being down 5. And again, our president, Dr. Sherilyn Emberton, in the crowd today. Hopefully she'll be in the crowd later for the men's game that will bring you live here on Forester Sports and on 105.5 Fuse FM.
Well, I'd be really surprised if she didn't. I believe she's been to every home contest, both on the men and the women's side. She's obviously a big fan of Forester basketball, and it's nice to see the support of the president here today.
And the Lady Foresters still content to fight it out here. They've gone back and forth a few times, Caleb, but now it seems like they're trying to find their stride, and they are getting some.
Well, it seems like all they really needed was a jump start. They were stuck with 19 points for a long time, but a couple good heads-up plays by Miranda Palmer, and then even after that by Lacey Dietrich. It looks like they're finally deciding they're going to step up and try to get the Foresters out of the rut that they're in.
Lady Foresters now working in a 2-3 zone. Nice trap here on Russell on the near side. She works it back to the center and goes to number 4, Donald. Loose ball underneath, taken by Amelia Recker.
And Palmer got another hand in there to disrupt that pass. She's really stepped up her both ends of the game right now.
Something has lit a fire under Miranda Palmer, and that is a good thing. Palmer working in the lane, now backs it to Eschman, a long-range 2, too strong. Delgado Price pulls down another rebound. Now they'll work it with Donald, the freshman. Top of the key, met by Palmer. Now they go off to Charney. Speed with a hand right in her face. Delgado Price, back to Donald. Donald to Charney again. Back out to Donald. Lady Warriors working it around the perimeter now. Trying to go inside. 5 on the shot clock. Turn around with the left hand is good from Morgan. 3-point lead with just over a minute. 26-23. Lady Foresters trail. Palmer goes to Speed. Now Recker. Amelia kicks it back out to Palmer. Now Dietrich goes to Speed. Top of the key. Bounce pass. Palmer inside. Taken away. It's like it was Morgan coming up with the steal. Delgado Price works it to Russell. Just over 35 seconds, about a 15-second differential between game and shot clock. Pass goes off to Russell, almost taken away by Speed. Now Donald with 10 on the shot clock, going to Charney. Back outside. Donald going to drive the lane. Hop step blocked by Eschman with authority. But back outside, 2 on the clock. No good. Rebound. Still fought for, and Delgado Price has it with 10 seconds left. Russell back to Donald. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2. She'll put up a 3. No good. And that brings us to halftime. 26-23. Lady Foresters going to the locker room trailing here to Rochester, and Caleb. A very, very tough matchup for them, at least so far through this first half.
Right, and the Foresters are only down by 3 points, but I guarantee you they feel like they're down by quite a bit more than that. They've really, really struggled hitting their baskets, and they've got a lot to talk about this halftime, but I'm confident they can come back out, make some adjustments, and get right back into this game.
We're going to take a break in about 3 or 4 minutes or so and come back with some halftime statistics and possible keys for half number 2. Lady Foresters trailing 26-23 to Rochester in the championship game of the Huntington University Tournament. Here on Forester Sports Live on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM.
Amelia Eschman with 2 points. Paige Speed with 6 points. Amelia Recker with 6 points. Miranda Palmer with 7 points.
Yeah, it's under control, I think.
And Lacey Dietrich with 2 points. Our student halftime shootout is sponsored by Sign 7 and the Huntington Pizza Hut. Each shooter will shoot from the free throw line to the three-point line in half court. If they hit the free throw, they win a 2-liter bottle of pop. If they hit the three-point shot, they win a free pizza from Pizza Hut for me. And if they hit the half-court shot, they win a $100 gift certificate. When we call your ticket number, please report to the scoring table with your ticket. 681-364. 681-379. 382. 364-379 or 382. 354. 2 in a row. I think I'm playing against this guy. The Jake Gyllenhaal, Huntington University. So far, every shooter has made one. Let's see if Jake Gyllenhaal can keep the trend going. The Huntington University Athletic Department wants to thank Orthopedics Northeast and Sport One for its partnership. One physician specializes in bones, joints, spine, and sports medicine. One also has athletic trainers that provide team coverage to area athletic programs, including Huntington University. When you need orthopedic care, there's only one name to know. One.
Back at halftime, 26-23, Rochester leading your Lady Foresters here in the championship game of the Huntington University Tournament. I want to remind you, you can also follow our games on Twitter. For women's games, go to @HU_sports. And for our men's games later this afternoon, go to @HU Hoops and give them a follow. I want to thank Victor McCarty, our social media correspondent, doing all of the tweeting here for Forester Sports Live. Take a look now, Caleb, at the halftime stats, and really the key comes down to turnovers. Lady Foresters with 13 and a half. They only had 13 the entire game last night against Wilberforce, and they're only shooting about 32% from the field, but the free throw line again, 100%, 8 for 8.
And it really strikes me how similar these numbers are really for both teams. Both teams not doing a very good job taking care of the ball. Both teams shooting at a very low percentage. Probably the most significant stat that I see here is a three-point percentage. We've seen Rochester knock down a few, especially at key moments in the game, and Huntington's really only 1 for 3 right now. But other than that, both teams are playing a very similar game.
And surprisingly, Caleb, the rebounds are in favor of the Lady Foresters, 18-3 in that department. They also have more steals at 7-5, and also 1 block, that coming from Amelia Eschman off the bench.
Right, and they're doing a lot of things right. Don't get me wrong. You know, we've been maybe had somewhat of a negative feel here. They're doing a great job with some aspects of this game. They're playing really aggressively. They've just made a few several key mistakes that are really keeping them from really taking this game away.
Then, Caleb, they went into the halftime last night to Wilberforce down by 1. Kind of a similar feel, I would say, here in the game against Rochester. What do you think the Lady Foresters need to do specifically to try and combat this and possibly come away with a win?
Well, I'm not quite sure what might be causing this, but they're not taking very good care of the ball. We've seen some both forced and unforced turnovers throughout the course of this game, really by all players. Every player, except for Kelsey Hubble, has committed at least 1 turnover in this half. So we really want to see that turn around. I don't know if that's just tightening their focus or maybe slowing down their game a little bit, but the lack of turnovers, if they can commit less turnovers in this half than in last half, they'll be in a lot better shape. Secondly, I'd really like to see them be able to break apart the Warriors' zone defense a little bit. They're having a really hard time getting the ball inside in the paint, and like we said in the pregame, that's where they really shine. If we can get the ball to the scorers, especially like Paige Speed and Amelia Recker, who only were held to 6 apiece, then maybe this game can kind of turn around for the Lady Foresters.
Speed and Recker are the only starters with points, both of them with 6. And then Miranda Palmer with a 7 off the bench. And then you also have Dietrich with 2 and Eschman with 2, and no other scorers there for the Lady Foresters. Somebody else has got to really step up. But, again, we mentioned earlier, some of that has to do with the foul situation. We saw Kelsey Hubble pick up 3 quick fouls there in the first half, and then Courtney Baker also went into the half with 2, and she never came back on after she picked up those 2.
And that really surprised me that we didn't see any more of Courtney Baker. I thought she played a pretty good first part of the game during the few minutes that she was in, with the exception of those 2 fouls that she played. So I hope that we'll be able to see her in the second half. I think she's a very integral part of especially the Forester defense, but she's also a very nice offensive threat as well.
Yeah, Baker only playing about 5 minutes, and then Hubble just under 6 minutes in that first half. I imagine they'll be out to start the second half, but the Lady Foresters, they've just got to really clean up with their turnovers. And going into the first half last night, I believe they only had 5, and they finished up with only 13 for the game. They got to have a similar, if not much better effort there in half number 2.
Right, they do. And something else we haven't mentioned yet is the foul situation. We saw the Foresters really sloppy in the early part of the first half, committing 7 fouls early, and they were able to slow it down a little bit, and they only ended up committing 1 more during the rest of the half. So they did a good job there. They need to keep that up and also keep getting themselves into situations where they're drawing fouls. And I think they did a really good job with that and really getting Rochester into foul trouble because, as we mentioned before, several times throughout this game, they're really good from the line. They're still shooting 100%. I don't want to jinx them, but I really don't think I have that kind of power. But I think that they can continue to hit those shots, and that really might be the difference maker for this game.
For Rochester, it's almost the exact opposite. They've got a pretty even scoring across the board. They're led by Tiffany Mish off the bench with 8 points. She went 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from deep. And then you also have Wiltsey and Russell contributing 4 points, and then countless other scorers with either 2 or 3. there for Rochester. They're doing a great job just spreading out the ball. And the main thing I've noticed, Caleb, and I think you can agree with this, they are driving and kicking very well.
Yes, they are. They're doing a good job finding the open person. They're content to pass the ball around, and most of their shots have been wide open, honestly, especially those three-pointers that they've knocked down that we talked about. So Huntington's really got to do a little bit better job of preventing the person from being completely open, and that really comes down to help defense, which we haven't seen a lot of, but I'm sure that they've mentioned that in the locker room today.
At the same token, though, Caleb, they too working with a little bit of foul trouble as well. Kaya Kayla with 2 fouls, Wiltsey with 2 fouls, Emily Hale with 3 fouls, and they have 3 other players with 1. They're missing some of their key contributors with foul trouble as well. They're going to have to stay out of it.
Right, and we might see even some, depending on how the second half goes, we have definitely the potential to see some players foul out in this game. So the Foresters really need to be aware of that, maybe create more opportunities like they did in the first half of drawing fouls and maybe getting some of the key players. We mentioned Kai Kala, the leading scorer for Rochester. She didn't really get a whole lot of time in, playing less than 10 minutes, and this was because of foul trouble. So if they can continue that trend, the Foresters might be able to get themselves into good situations.
Again, that drive and kick, Caleb, that's been working very well. That may have been a big part of those 7 assists for the Warriors on their 9 made field goals, while the Foresters, they only had 7 made field goals in the half, only 4 assists as well.
Right. We're going to have to do a little bit better sharing the ball and running a good offense where they can drive and kick, like you said. That seems to work really well. Of course, for the Foresters, not quite as much because we don't have as much of a perimeter presence, but I think that kind of offense works really well. And there's a reason why LeBron James uses it.
Just over 2 minutes, and both teams now out shooting around before the start of half number 2. Caleb, again, we mentioned some of the keys for the Foresters. They got to stop the turnovers. What does Rochester have to do now playing with a 3-point lead?
Well, even though they have a 3-point lead, I'm sure Rochester feels pretty good about the way this game's going. They've done a lot right, and yeah, they've made their fair share of mistakes too. But honestly, I think their offense is running a lot better than Huntington's is. So I think the keys to their game will be to continue to keep doing what they're doing, getting some good opportunities, finding the open person and getting some good shots wide open. And really, if they take care of the basketball a little bit better, they'd be in a lot better shape. So they definitely will be trying to work on that as well.
Taking a quick break, just over a minute 25 to go before we begin half number 2, 26-23, Rochester over Huntington. Here on Forester Sports Live on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM.
I think it's like a 3-minute delay too. I don't know if that messes it up.
Back inside Platt Arena, your championship game of the Huntington University Tournament. Your Lady Foresters begin the second half, down 3 at 26-23 to the Rochester College Lady Warriors. Lady Foresters do come out with their starting lineup here, Caleb. They're working with speed. Baker Hubble back out there with those fouls, along with Jacqueline Bonham. I forgot to mention, she's also working with 2. And then Amelia Recker rounds out the lineup.
And they're definitely going to have to play a little bit less aggressive on the defensive end especially and really try to stay out of foul trouble with these starting players.
Lady Foresters start out with the basketball as Hubble top of the key, working it over to Baker. That 2-3 zone defense still there for Rochester and seems to be working pretty well right now. As Baker receives the bounce pass, goes to Recker in the corner. Back to Hubble. Hubble with a screen from speed, goes to Baker. Less than 10 on the shot clock, ball knocked loose and saved there by Delgado Price and got it to Kayakala. It is Wiltsey at the top of the key, bounces it off to Kayakala. Now goes back to Wiltsey on the near wing. Hubble defending, going inside. Kayakala was there, ball may have been blocked there by Recker. And the shot clock resets. Well, the referees may have just caught that now, and we'll have to see how much time Rochester will have to work with the basketball.
Well, going back to that last Forrester possession there, they opened up with a turnover, and that's exactly what they didn't want to do. So they tried to get the ball inside into the interior against the zone, and it didn't quite work out. It got broken up by Rochester.
Shot clock down to 5 now. They reset it with 8. Wiltsey catches and shoots. No good. Rebound underneath, and a foul. That'll go against Peja Speed on Jarney. That'll send her to the line. Peja really came flying in there trying to get some of the ball.
Right, it looked like she got most of the ball, and that's apparently and we have one outspoken spectator who seems to agree.
Heard that guy for my last 2 years here, Caleb. He's very devoted. He'll tell the referees what's wrong. First free throw is no good from Jarney. Second one on the way. That one rolls in off the front iron. And now Rochester working with a 4-point lead here. Baker works it to Hubble. Now Bonema has it. And now goes back to Kelsey. Young sophomore working over to Baker. Now back to Recker. Hubble to Speed. Back to Hubble. Catch and shoot for 3. No good. Too strong, and Delgado the rebound. Here comes Wiltsey now, trying to work it pretty quickly. Walks off to the right wing, trying to drive on Hubble. Instead, kicks it out to Jarney. That one knocked away, but she'll get it right back. She'll now kick it out. That one is out of bounds, too wide for Wiltsey. She was trying to cut to the basket and passed back outside.
And after halftime, we expected to see maybe a cutback in turnovers, but we've seen just as many as we've seen in the first half at this point.
27-23, Lady Foresters down 4. Hubble centers it, goes to Recker. Recker, shot fake, now has to back it down and goes to Baker. Baker to Hubble. She'll go baseline. Back outside. Recker gonna kick it out. Baker alone for a long 2. That one no good. Ball knocked away, but Jarney the rebound. Wiltsey controlling it for the Warriors. Goes off to the right with Kayakala. And back to Delgado Price. She'll go inside to Kayakala. Working against Recker. That one put up. No good off the front iron. Rebound. And that one knocked away cleanly by Speed. And here comes Hubble trying to work in transition. Hubble bounce pass to Speed. Nice spin move in the lane. Off the glass for 2.
That's exactly what we need to see from Peja Speed. Exerting her senior leadership and really going an aggressive shot to the glass. And it goes in. And the Foresters are on the board this half.
That one knocked away. And Speed comes up with the steal now. Peja going to work it against Wiltsey. Kind of lost her dribble, got it right back. Turnaround jumper, no good, and Russell the rebound. Here comes Russell. Trying to work it, kicks it to Kayakala. She'll drive in and somehow find the lay-in.
I'm not quite sure how that ball seemed to roll in, but it did, and unfortunately, just like that, back up by 4.
29-25, Lady Foresters trail. Baker working top of the key, looking for some help. Goes to Speed. Speed in the corner to Recker. Back out to Baker. To Hubble. Bounce pass inside. Bonema. Shot fake. Puts it up with the left hand rather. There's foul. Now we're in Jacqueline Bonema 2 free throws. Foul goes against Delgado Price.
I'd really like to see Bonneman get involved in this game. She's got a big height advantage over the small Rochester lineup, and if she could get involved down in the paint, might be able to turn this game around a little bit.
Bonema putting up the first free throw, and that one is good. Left-hander out of the state of Illinois. Actually, excuse me, Dyer, Indiana. I apologize for that. Went to Ileana Christian School. Bonema with one more free throw. Puts that one up. On the way. A little too strong. Found the roll out of the hoop.
Yeah, that's the first missed free throw from the Lady Foresters in 2 games, but still shooting a very high percentage.
Wiltsey with a screen from Kayakala. Goes to Delgado Price. Back out to Kayakala. Looking to drive against Recker. Instead goes to Delgado Price and back out to Mish. She'll put up a 3. That one nothing but backboard, and Baker the rebound. There goes Baker. Trying to turn it into third gear. Kicks it to Speed. Kicks it to Hubble. She's left alone for three. It is good, and we're tied.
Really some great offense there. Maybe for the first time we saw a really well-executed play. Great passes to find the wide-open Hubble, and she was able to find the shot.
Tied at 29 now. Wiltsey going over to Russell. Russell centers, goes back to Mish. Mish to Russell once more. That one knocked up and taken away by Recker. Courtney Baker again getting her hand on the basketball. Her defense is tenacious right now. Speed was looking for Bonema. She was waving her hands trying to get the basketball. Bonema backing her down high off the glass. Draws another foul on Delgado Price.
And that's something that, if we can see Bonneman continue to attack the basket like she's doing, she's going to naturally draw fouls just because of how much taller she is than the people that are guarding her.
First media timeout as we're tied at 29, 15:36 to play in the second half. And Caleb, now it seems like the Lady Foresters coming out with some aggression, especially on the offensive end of the ball. Defensively, it seems like they're still sticking to what worked there toward the end of this first half.
Right, yeah, they're still a little bit struggling on the defensive end. Still some wide open people that are getting some clean shots. Unfortunately, most of those haven't been hit by Rochester, but they're really looking a lot better on the offensive side, executing some plays and being able to break up that 2-3 zone that Rochester's using, and also getting Jacqueline Bonneman involved down low.
I want to mention Peja Speed really quick. As of right now, she is 7 points away from the 1,000-point club.
Right, and we have no doubts that she'll make that eventually.
I hope so.
And it's very likely that she could hit this at the end of the game.
In Bonham at the line for 2 free throws. Again, drawing the foul on Delgado Price. Again, Bonham doesn't exactly have the bulk that Delgado Price has. But again, with that height advantage, she should be able to get some shots off, and she's been doing that here in the last couple of possessions.
And doing that, like I said, with a lack of height advantage, that's going to be a more physical way of defending, and that will naturally kind of lead to fouls. And that's what Bonneman's done really well early in this second half, and I hope she continues to do that because it could get a lot of free throw opportunities for her.
That was the second team foul for Rochester. Bonhama's first free throw, a little too strong and no good. One more coming for the sophomore, standing at 6'2". Second one on the way, high off the backboard, no good. Kayakala the rebound. Still tied at 29 as Wiltsey works it across the timeline. Working right, couple of screens set, kicking it out. May have been knocked out by Forster. It looked like Speed got her hand on it. Sent that one out of bounds. Keeps it with Rochester. They have 19 on the shot clock. Mish to inbound. Very tight defense, but it's into Wiltsey. Wiltsey centers it, goes to Delgado Price. Looking to go to Wiltsey. Hubble right there defending. Now it's with Russell. Russell against Baker. One baseline, kicks out. Kayakala for a long two, and it's good with 2 on the shot clock.
And that was a really good shot. She was wide open there from about the 10-foot mark and was able to find the basket.
Bonema goes back to Hubble. Now Baker to Speed. Peja bounce pass off to Hubble. Back to Baker. Hubble again. Goes back to Courtney. Cross court now with Peja. Driving baseline. Puts it up and in.
Excellent job by Peja Speed, getting her body in a position where she'd be very difficult to guard and have a nice shot off the glass.
It was tough to tell there, Caleb, but she may have done just enough of a quick pump fake to get her free, and she drove the baseline hard. Delgado Price works it off to Wiltsey near wing, or far wing, Back to Kayakala. Kayakala defended very tightly by Recker, lost the ball down on the floor. That one knocked out of bounds. It goes to the Lady Foresters.
It's a great defense by Amelia Recker. She was guarding her really tight and did a good job moving her feet. And then with the assistance of her teammate, I'm not sure who got a hand in there, but the ball was loose and eventually went out of bounds.
Hale checks in, number 33. I remember, though, she is working with 3 fouls here in this game for Rochester. So we're tied at 31. Baker will go to Recker. Now quickly back to Baker. Got to get it across before 10 seconds, and they do to Hubble. Over to Speed in the corner. Hubble goes back to Peja. She's alone for three. It is good.
And I think Paige is starting to get hungry for some points. I noticed that even before she took that shot, she looked like she wanted to take it, and eventually she was able to find open. And if she gets involved in this game, the Foresters are going to be in great shape.
Foresters up 34-31 and 2 points away for Speed. A high arcing three is no good. Speed gets the rebound, and here she comes. Speed bounce pass to Recker. Nice move inside, draws the foul.
Now, this is the Lady Foresters I'm used to watching. Really good on offense and really getting their high scorers involved in this game.
34-31, Amelia Recker at the line for 2 free throws. And again, Peja Speed 2 points away now from the 1,000-point club. Recker adds the first free throw. And Caleb, you mentioned that free throw routine, but that's an interesting routine. I've never seen balancing it on one palm and then throwing it up. As Recker adds them both.
But again, it works really well. She shoots better than almost anybody on the team.
Should be 36-31. They accidentally add the point to Rochester, but it will be a 5-point lead for the Lady Foresters. 36-31. Russell uses some screens. Mish is open for three again. That one off the iron and somehow does not fall.
Well, lucked out there, and good job by Amelia Recker boxing out and getting another rebound.
36-31, Lady Foresters by 5. Hubble going to Speed. Speed top of the key, now moves right, goes back to Hubble. Looking inside to Recker, she has an advantage, draws another foul.
It was an excellent pass by Peja Speed, able to find Recker open. And unfortunately, she got a little bit too far under the basket, but she was able to draw the foul, and she's going back to the line.
Third foul against Wiltsey. Recker for 2 more free throws. First one on the way. That one is good. Should be 37-31. 13:01 to play, second half. Recker with 1 more free throw. So they're about to correct the scoreboard issue. And a 6-point lead for the Lady Foresters now. And Caleb, again, they're starting to click here on offense and really drawing the fouls, and that is one of the keys that we mentioned.
Right, and they're doing a great job. Really, it's been quiet for the first part of this first half as far as fouls goes, but now they're doing a good job drawing them, and really foul trouble might be a key element during the rest of the second half.
Recker adds another 2-for-2 trip to the charity stripe, and it's a 7-point lead, 38-31, HU on top. Erica Schwartz checking in. She's going to try and drive baseline. That one knocked out, but there is Hale for a long 2. It's good.
And unfortunately, another uncontested shot by Rochester, and Huntington's really got to keep doing that. They can't get too complacent now that they have a little bit of a lead.
Baker up to Bonema, now to Speed. Peja back to Bonema. Going to drive inside, off the glass for 2.
That was an excellent bank shot. That's what we like to see out of Bonneman.
Back come the Warriors. Hale, top of the key, goes to Schwartz, defended by Hubble. On the far wing now, they go to Mish, top of the key. Back around to the near side with Hale. Here's Russell. Russell back out to Schwartz. Mish gonna drive the lane, put it up. Oh, send that back to Cinder.
Well, I mentioned help defense and how the Foresters haven't been doing it, but Jacqueline Bonema did an excellent job right there, sliding right in, disrupting that drive, and getting a nice swat.
Bonema and Hubble head to the bench, and a round of applause for the young sophomore. She said, no ma'am, not today. Inbounding with 8 on the shot clock, knocked away by Palmer and out of bounds. I'm back in, Miranda Palmer contributing defensively. Also add Amelia Eschman has checked in. So that takes away a bit of the height there, Caleb, but Eschman has been providing some good stuff down there on the low end.
Right, she knows how to fight underneath the basket, and I think she'll do just fine.
Russell, the quick inbound to Mish. 7 on the shot clock. Mish crossing over, driving inside. Nice dish to Hale. Got the lay-in just as the shot clock expires. 40-35, Lady Foresters lead. There it is, up with Baker. Baker across the timeline, she's good. Palmer works it to Speed. There's for 3. No good. Recker the board. Count that one in, the foul.
And this is the Amelia Recker we all know and love. She's just doing an excellent job boxing out, getting herself in positions to get rebounds, and getting points and trips to the free throw line.
Should correct that. That foul was on the floor. It goes against Hale, and that is her fourth. She's going to have to come out again. Both her and Russell head to the sidelines for Rochester. Kayakala back in along with Charney. Inbound quickly to Rucker, catch and shoot, in and out, no good. Charney the rebound, and here comes Rochester. Should be 40-35.
It looks like they might take points off the board there. They did count that shot by Recker, but I don't think they're going to count it.
No, that foul was on the floor. That is the correct call, and they will take away those 2 points. Still a 5-point lead for the Lady Forsters, who have turned up the intensity, Caleb, at 11:40. Actually, 11:43 should be on the clock. They'll take a few seconds off to adjust for the shot clock as well. So now we've got it all straight away. 27 seconds left on the shot clock, and here we go. Mish off to Schwartz. Schwartz looking to work against Palmer. Kicks it out to Kayakala for 3. Off the front iron and no good. Here comes Baker. She is stepping it up into 4th gear now. Gonna go to Speed. Shot from the free throw line. Off the front iron and no good.
Man, we want to see her hit that shot so bad and get up to her 1,000 points total, but we know she'll hit it at some point today.
Schwartz misses the wild layup. Kayakala the rebound. Back out. Carney alone for 3. That one no good. Delgado Price the rebound. And now Mish knocked out of bounds by Baker from behind.
And we're almost happy to see that ball go out of bounds because really Huntington couldn't get their defense reset, and there were some open shots and open rebounds, and they just really needed to kind of get settled back in.
40-35 still your score. So they work it to Mish. Mish almost lost it. Now Schwartz has some trouble, but a foul by Palmer. She was fighting for the ball on the floor.
Right, she dove down for that ball, but unfortunately the body got in the way and got a quick foul there.
Only the second team foul there for the Lady Forsters in the half, as opposed to 4 for the Warriors. Just under 11 minutes. Mish bounce pass back to Charney. Charney puts it up with the right hand. Wild shot, no good. Rebound Speed. Asia, top of the key. Going to Palmer. Screen set. Nice dish to Eschman. Back out to Palmer. Over to Baker. Now Speed. Speed back to Baker with 12 on the shot clock. Pass off to Recker. Here is Speed. Gonna drive the baseline. Put that one up. A charge on the other end. It'll go against Peja.
One of the rare instances where you get a charge without somebody on the floor.
Must have led with the forearm or something there. I didn't quite see it down in that swarm.
All right, we didn't have a very good angle from where we're sitting, but we'll have to trust with the officials on that one.
Kayakala in the high post. Goes to Delgado Price. Now Schwartz. Foul underneath again. That one goes against Recker. That'll be her first foul of the game. 4th team foul against the Lady Forsters. Now both teams starting to commit some of those hacks there, Caleb.
Yep, and that's going to be really important as the game goes down.
Inside, Kayakala working around Eschman. Finds the roll.
Did a great job getting underneath the outstretched arm of Eschman and getting herself an easy look down there.
Just past the midway point of half number 2 as the ball goes to Recker. Inside, here's Eschman. Back to Palmer. Palmer. Going to Recker. In the post. Working against Delgado Price. Works up and under for the layup.
Excellent ball movement. She's a little bit smaller than Delgado Price, but she was able to work around her. Nice pivoting and great shot.
Good job to not travel as well. That's got to be some tough concentration. Another reach-in foul, it looks like. That'll go against Palmer. 42-37, 9:29 to go in the second half.
And Forster starting off this half doing a good job not committing fouls, but they've committed several in a row now, and they're only 2 away from the bonus.
As are both teams. Offensive foul underneath. That goes against Tiffany Mish, number 20. 6th team foul. 3rd, actually that 2nd. Inbound goes to Baker. Now Courtney will run the offense. Looking for a screen. Finds one from Recker. Bounce pass to Palmer. Back out on the wing. Going inside with Recker. Again, adds the layup, works her way around Delgado Price.
And Recker did an excellent job getting herself in position. She got in front of the person who was guarding her, and she called for the ball, and she did something with it.
44-37, 7-point lead for the Lady Foresters. Pass to Schwartz. Now back to Mish. Over to Delgado Price. Left alone, but goes to Charney. Charney gives it up. Kayakala baseline jumper. No good. Eschman the rebound. Now here comes Palmer. Up to Baker. Tried to go inside the record, but too late. And Delgado Price with the steal. Back the other way they come. Charney alone for a three. That one was so high it almost hit the lights.
Yes, it did, and that was a much-needed three-point basket for a Rochester team who's looked to lost all momentum.
Bounce pass to Eschman. Works her way around. Misses the shot. Rebound Recker and the putback.
And how many times do we see that by Amelia Recker? An offensive rebound followed by an easy basket off the glass.
Jacqueline Bonnema looks to check in on the next stoppage of play. Back out to a 6-point lead. Hubble looking to check in as well. Here goes Mish. Step back from the baseline. No good. Tipped out. There's Eschman the rebound. Foul going against Kayakala.
I believe that's going to be her fourth. I'm sorry, her third.
That's the 7th team foul. That will send a Lady Forster to the line. As Hubble and Bonnema check back on. And that will put Amelia Recker at the line for the 1-and-1. Peja Speed going to take a quick breather there on the sideline along with Eschman. Getting Recker at the line for the 1-1. And Caleb, she has really come on these last few possessions. I believe she has scored maybe the last 3 or 4 baskets.
And this is exactly what the Foresters needed. They need to get her involved in the game. She's one of the most capable offensive weapons here on this Forester team. And she can, as she just showed, hit free throws like nobody's business.
First one of the front end of the 1-and-1 is good. Out to a 7-point lead, looking to make it 8. That one a little too strong. Rebound Charney. Give it off to Wiltsey, and she'll run the offense for the Lady Warriors. Pass goes off to Russell, defended by Baker. Russell goes to Kayakala, top of the key. Now works it to Charney. The left, back to Russell, to Kayakala. Bonnema defending this time. 7 on the shot clock. Charney going to drive the baseline. Goes in uncontested for the layup.
And that was a nice-looking layup, and it looks like Rochester's going to take a timeout.
Full timeout taken by Rochester as they cut the lead to 5, 47-42. Again, Cove, the Lady Foresters working it well offensively, but again, it seems like their defense is still a little lacking, getting those open looks.
They are. They're having a hard time with the help generally. They've done a couple plays where they've been able to get some good help defense going, but really they're just having a hard time covering the open Warrior.
47-42. 5-point advantage here for the Lady Foresters. I think Caleb Peja Speed just taking a break right now so she can catch her breath. She's been out there for a good portion of this ballgame probably so far.
Right, and we saw her play almost all of the first half.
She played all but 4 seconds of the first half.
Right, and we've seen her really up until this point. This is her first break she's taken in the second half. She's got to be tired, but she also plays with a lot of aggression, a lot of heart, and I know she'd rather be back out on the court right now.
Amelia Recker also in that first half only 4 seconds. She's been out there for a good majority as well, and she's not really asking for a rest right now. She's doing some good work.
No, she's doing just fine, and I think the coach is willing to let her stay in the basketball game.
Both teams now ready to come out after that full timeout. That will take place with the media timeout. They're at 7:33 to play. It's Lady Forester ball underneath the basket on our far left side. Looks like the full court press will be coming from the Lady Warriors of Rochester. Inbound gets in easily to Palmer, but here comes the trap. Recker works it to Hubble. Hubble back to Recker, and now up to Baker in the half-court offense now. 20 on the shot clock as Hubble uses the screen from Bonnema. Bounce pass to Palmer. Back to Hubble. Over to Baker. Back to Kelsey. Here's a 3 ball. It's good. Wow.
That was a great shot. They had plenty of time to set something up, but she felt confident she could hit it, and hit it she did.
And maybe that's what it's going to take to shoot the Warriors out of that 2-3 zone. Wiltsey, Kaya Kala left alone open for three, and she answers.
And even though that was against the opposing team, I like to see that whenever one team hits a three and the other one comes down and says, I'll hit one myself.
Baker going to work it up to Wrecker, and now to Palmer. Palmer going to work it to Hubble, using the screen again. Now Palmer gives it to Baker. Back out to Hubble. Bounce pass inside. Wrecker drawing the foul. And again, she does it. That's Delgado Price one more time. I think Wrecker, Caleb, has drawn all three fouls so far on Delgado Price.
Yes, she has. She's done a great job with that matchup down there, using her a little bit of her size advantage and really getting some good looks.
First free throw good from Amelia.
And it really helps that she's a robotic free throw shooter as well.
Couple of subs. Delgado Price checks out. Also coming off is Charney as Hale. One more coming in. That is Mish, number 20. Wrecker, her second free throw on the way. That one rattles in and out. No good. Foul over the back there. Looks like it'll go on Bonema, and it will. That's her third. 16 foul. Lady Forster's now one foul away from being in the bonus the rest of the way. Wiltsey. Bounce pass to Hale in the high post. Working inside, stolen by Amelia Wrecker on Kaya Kala. Here comes Palmer, quickly up to Baker. Baker using the screen. She's going to drive herself. Right hand floater is good.
I'm not quite sure what happened, but the lane just opened up for her as she was dribbling across, and she said, all right, I guess I'll take advantage of that opportunity.
53-45, 8-point lead for the Lady Foresters. Here's Kaya Kala, high post. Has to back it out. Wrecker defending. Goes back outside. Russell for three. No good. Rebound Baker over Hale. Here comes Courtney now at the top of the key. Working back to her right, was left alone. Going baseline. Draws another foul. The Lady Foresters driving to the hoop now.
Really nice job by Courtney Baker on those last few possessions. Making a shot, coming down, getting a great rebound, and then coming back and drawing a foul.
Third foul against Mish. And that brings the junior to the free throw line. First one on the way for Courtney. That one a little too strong off the back iron. 5:39 to play. Still an 8-point advantage for HU. Baker's second. About three dribbles. Puts that one up, and she makes good on the second. Now a 9-point lead, 54-45. Rochester working it to Kaya Kala. Catch and shoot. That one is good. Left alone out there in the mid-range.
Kaya Kala's proved she's got a great mid-range shot. So again, Forster's leaving the shooter wide open.
Palmer works it across easily this time against that full court press. Here comes Hubble. Back to Palmer. Working right. She'll go baseline. Goes to Baker. Baseline jumper is good.
And Baker's really found her rhythm right now. And if anybody's questioning her starting spot now, I don't think they will be after this game.
9-point lead again. 5 minutes to go. Bounce pass. Stolen by Baker. Baker works her way around. Gonna go one-on-one, then lay it in.
Yeah, she's a one-man army for the Foresters right now, just doing her thing.
Timeout Rochester, 4:47. And the Lady Foresters working with an 11-point lead. Caleb, we cannot say it enough. Courtney Baker, she's almost like a one-man wrecking crew out there.
She really is. And it's really exciting whenever you see a team get into a rut in the first half and then come out and see a ton of individual players step up and say, I am personally going to be responsible for this turnaround. And we've seen it by a number of these Forester players tonight. I think Apasia Speed early on in this half. Amelia Wrecker really found her rhythm. And now we're seeing it out of Courtney Baker. Really all three of these ladies and the whole rest of the team just really doing an excellent job saying, I'm going to be the difference maker.
They're feeding a lot off of that energy, Caleb, and rightfully so. I mean, we were talking about this game. The Lady Foresters went down in the half down 3. They're now up by 11.
Right. They've done a great job turning the ball around. A lot of the things that we talked about that needed to happen, they're making it happen. They're doing a great job on offense, taking better care of the ball. The turnovers, we don't know the exact numbers, but they've been a lot less, and they've done a great job executing plays like we didn't see them do in the first half.
Again, in this half, Caleb, the Forcers plus 14 over the Rochester Lady Warriors, and they have just, again, they're coming out guns a-blazing almost here in
they've almost
half
scored twice as many points in this half already, even with 4:47 left, than they did in the entire first half of the game.
Lady Forcers coming back out there. No substitutions. It'll be Rochester ball. Kyle Kahlo will inbound with, again, 4:47 to play in the second half. Inbound goes to Wiltsey, and the clock runs. Man-to-man defense for the Lady Foresters. Bounce pass, Kyle Kahlo, top of the key. Now goes, hands it off to Russell. Over to Hale. Hale working and goes over to Mish. Mish kicks it out. That one almost taken away. Wiltsey a three, no good. And Palmer just lets that one go. Smart move.
And a nice job by the Foresters contesting that shot. That was not a wide open three-pointer, and consequently it did not fall in.
Not to mention, Caleb, a good job of boxing out and letting that ball go out of bounds. Could have possibly gone for the rebound themselves, but again, took the safe play.
Right. It's always good to see smart basketball.
Closing in on 4 minutes to go, 4:10 now. 58-47, Lady Foresters up 11. Palmer open for three. Higher shot, no good. Wrecker the rebound, puts it up and in.
And that's her formula. She gets offensive rebound and just finds the glass, and most of the time she gets fouled. Not that time, but regardless, she comes away with the basket.
Wiltsey gonna work the point here. Bounce pass, Kaya Kala, defended by Wrecker, going to Hale. Hale guarded tightly by Bonema, not much room to move. Kaya Kala to Mish. Behind the back dribble, kicking it back out. Wiltsey to Russell in the corner for three. Short, knocked around, and Wrecker the rebound.
She's just done an excellent job fighting for those rebounds. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm sure she's going to end up with a double-double at the end of this game.
Baker with the screen from Bonema, backs it out near the perimeter, goes to Wrecker, and now Hubble. Hubble gonna move inside, dish it to Palmer. Palmer kicks it out. Baker stops, goes to Hubble. Hubble gonna drive herself and draws another foul. And Kelsey Hubble, Caleb, has not committed one herself since that first half. She's been playing very, very clean defense.
She has, and she's doing an excellent job here, and I believe that's going to be the first foul out of the game.
It is Emily Hale. She is fouled out. That brings Delgado Price back on, I believe, along with maybe another one. That'll be Charney, number 12.
Again, also, we see the Foresters in the double bonus now with 10 fouls on Rochester.
Looks like Paige Speed is looking to check back in next for the Lady Foresters, possibly after this first free throw from Kelsey Hubble. A 13-point lead, 60-47 for HU in their own tournament here against Rochester. And Caleb, Rochester comes in today 4-5 on the season. They played a lot of basketball games, but they're still a very, very formidable squad out of the independents of the Division II.
Right, they've been doing a good job fighting really hard on both ends of the ball, and they've definitely given these Lady Foresters a lot of trouble.
Hubble hits the first one. Looks like Paige Speed will come in for Hubble if she can drain the second free throw. That one on the way and good. Here comes Paige Speed back on for Kelsey Hubble. And again, Caleb, Speed only 2 away from the 1,000-point club. Let's see if she can do it here in the last 3:08.
Well, we'd really like to see it, and we definitely know she's capable of doing so.
And I think the crowd will come unglued and will let the moment speak for itself. Out of bounds as it's too wide for Mish.
Another unforced turnover there by Rochester. Huntington's done a great job cleaning those up, but really Rochester still kind of struggled with that through the second half.
Inbound goes to Palmer, and now she will end it up knocked away, but Palmer came right back with it and goes to Baker. Lady Foresters content to take their time now. Ball working with Speed. Speed back to Baker. Draws the double team. Here's Speed to Bonema. Nice move inside and a double dribble. She tried to go up and under again, I think there, Caleb. Just could not keep her possession.
Couldn't quite work out, but with the clock winding down, it's a less consequential turnover than what maybe we've seen in the early parts of this game.
15-point lead, 62-47 for the Lady Foresters. Wiltsey goes back to Charney. She takes a straightaway three off the front iron, or off the left iron, no good. And that one just trickles out of bounds to the sideline. And it's Lady Forester ball. Russell checks back on for Tiffany Mish. Baker to inbound, goes to Palmer. Baker goes to Speed. Peja, shot from the free throw line, it's good! There it is! Peja Speed in the 1,000-point club.
And the crowd's very excited at this great accomplishment by this excellent Forester senior.
Back the other way comes Rochester. Here is Russell. Working it back out. Wiltsey, a rainbow off the front iron, and Baker the rebound. And the fans still excited after that 1,000th point put up by Peja Speed. Back to Peja. She'll go cross court to Baker. Almost couldn't corral it, but she just had the arms to go get it. Going to Recker. Recker has to stop. Goes to Palmer. Palmer to Bonema. Back out. Peja for three. Off the front iron and no good. Delgado Price the rebound.
The last point scored by Peja Speed for her 1,000th point.
Charney, right hand runner is good, and the PA announcer David Alexander announcing the 1,000th point for Peja Speed.
And getting another nice applaud here from the crowd. Everybody really appreciates the effort that she's put in here in her years at Huntington University.
Again, Charney made the baseline runner. On the other end, it's now 64-49. Lady Forester still ahead by 15. That one knocked loose. Peja's right back to go get it. Trying to go inside to Recker. That one was two knocked away. Charney comes up with a steal.
We're down to less than a minute to play here.
Now 47 seconds to go. Pretty sizable difference between shot and game clock. Russell goes off to Charney in the corner. Back to Wiltsey. Wiltsey trying to work against Palmer, almost lost it. Goes to Charney. Now inside, Delgado Price. Right hand hook, no good. Baker the rebound, and that will turn the shot clock off.
Rochester doesn't look to be playing too aggressively, and they might just be content to let this one go.
And the Lady Foresters do not have to shoot the ball one more time. Looks like Baker will just do it herself. Baker, again, thought to cut, but backs it outside, and less than 10 to play. The Lady Foresters are your HU tournament champions.
And we saw an excellent second half performance by this team. They made a lot of mistakes in the first half, but what you always want to see is them come back out at halftime, correcting these mistakes and playing their game the way they are capable of playing it.
Your final score, 64-49, and the Lady Foresters back over 500 at 3-2 for the season. Rochester drops to 4-6. And Caleb, what a fantastic ball game, and no better way to cap it off than the 1,000th point added by Peja Speed for her career.
Right. It's always great to see a legendary player at HU get this recognition she deserves, and the crowd's very excited to see what she's accomplished so far in her career. And it's still early on in the season, and fortunately, we have one more season with Peja Speed, and we just can't wait to see what the season has in store for her.
We'll take a break, have a final stat wrap-up for you, and then we're going to be back around 5:30 for the men's game. So stick with us, folks, on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM. Just switch the stream over to the men's game versus Ohio State Mansfield. We're back after this final post-game wrap-up on 105.5 Fuse FM and Forester Sports Live on YouTube.
At this time, we would like to present the runner-up plaque to Rochester College Warriors. Would the captains please come forward to receive the plaque? Congratulations, Rochester, on a fine tournament. Also, congratulations to Kiara Hayakawa, who was selected to the all-tournament team. And now, the 2013 Huntington University Tournament Champions, Huntington University Foresters. Would the captains please come forward to receive your plaque? Congratulations, ladies, on an outstanding tournament. As your name is read, please come to the scorer's table to receive your championship t-shirt. Miranda Palmer, Kelsey Hubble, Courtney Baker, Allison Trout, Jacqueline Bonham, Amelia Recker, Lacey Dietrich, Paige Speed, Stephanie Osborne, Amelia Esmond, Gina Eisenhut. And our final award, the 2013 Tournament Most Valuable Player from Huntington University, Amelia Recker. Let's give it up one more time for Huntington Foresters, for all the tournament participants, especially Rochester. Thank you very much for participating, for making this a wonderful tournament. Have a safe trip home. And one last time also for Paige Speed and scoring her 1,000th point.
Back inside Platt Arena, your final score. The Lady Foresters are the champions of the Huntington University Tournament, 64-49 over the Rochester College Warriors. And Caleb, a pretty good game really from both sides, but the Lady Foresters finally found a way to pull out a win there in the second half. They only committed 5 second-half turnovers.
Right, and that's exactly what we wanted them to do. They didn't do a very good job taking care of the ball in the first half, but you know they talked about it the second half, and they took the steps they needed to make sure that they didn't commit turnovers, and really their offense was pretty flawless there in the second half.
Amelia Recker finishes as the high point getter, 20 points, 8 rebounds, just too short of a double-double. And then, of course, Paige Speed, 15 points, but the last 2 getting her into the 1,000-point club.
Right, and it was a really cool moment for everybody here, being able to witness her come to this achievement in her career, and really the whole crowd was very excited to see what this young lady's done for this team.
And Amelia Recker also named the tournament MVP of the Huntington University Tournament, and those 2 games she put together were solid.
Yeah, and nobody was really surprised by that. She was a top scorer in both games that she played, gets a lot of rebounds, really just shoots pretty phenomenally from the line. She was 8 for 10 from the free throw stripe. Just did a great job. Very good all-around player. You know, the numbers really don't show what she does on defense, too. During a lot of that game, she was guarding Kai Kalla, the top player for Rochester, and she did a great job really keeping Kai Kalla down to minimal damage.
And the Lady Foresters in that second half shot just under 61% as a team, finished at 46.7 for the game.
Right, and they really brought that up to a manageable percentage. They weren't making their shots. They weren't really getting good looks, and the good looks they were getting, they were squandering in the first half. But in the second half, they did a great job getting really good shots, a lot of points in the paint. They were finally able to break Rochester's zone, and they just had a great offensive half.
As for the Lady Warriors of Rochester, they shot only 33% there in half number 2, 34.5 for the game. And their three-point percentage really went down there in half number 2, only 16%, going 2 of 12 from beyond the arc.
And we mentioned at halftime that the three-point percentage of Rochester was really the kind of the difference maker between the game, and they weren't able to find that. while Huntington was able to find their offense. And really, we saw that with the points that Huntington really started to break away. They never really looked back.
Another point that I just realized, Caleb, they really limited the Warriors in their free throw attempts. Only 6 for the game, 4 of 6 from the line, while the Lady Foresters got there 24 times.
Right, and that was something, with the exception of the first 6 minutes of this basketball game, Huntington did a really good job with clean defense, not committing a lot of fouls, but giving them a lot of opportunities to get to the free throw line.
So the Lady Foresters again moved to 3-2 on the season, 64-49 over the Rochester College Lady Warriors. Their next contest will be on November the 19th as they take on the Lady Warriors of Indiana Tech, and that is here at Platt Arena. So be sure to join us for that game on Forester Sports Live and 105.5 Fuse FM. Our next broadcast is actually just about 35 minutes away as we have men's Forester basketball. They take on the Ohio State University Mansfield, and that is scheduled for a 5:30 tip-off time. Caleb, you'll be back for that second one, right?
I will, and we're looking forward to a great game. We always love it when we have a chance to do a doubleheader, and there's a lot more basketball on the way today.
So that's going to do it for us. For Caleb Overfeld, our great crew on hand here today, and our producer, Brooks Hooley, I'm Eric Mann. Be sure to join us in about 35 minutes as we have men's Forester basketball up next on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM. Just be sure to switch the stream over to that men's Forester basketball game. Have a great rest of your afternoon if you cannot join us, and we'll hope you'll join us next week for more Forester basketball.